Hey, it is Thursday, late morning, and I just thought I'd bring you along for the process of putting together a story from start to finish. Right now, I'm working on a feature story about the life of Ma'Khia Bryant. She is a 16-year-old black teenager who was killed by a Columbus police officer outside of this home over here where there's balloons. She was killed there on Tuesday, shortly before the Derek Chauvin verdict was announced. A feature-length story is one where you try to include different perspectives about whatever the issue is you're covering or the person and try to get at it from different angles. So yesterday, my story was really about what the Columbus police officers were saying about what had happened. They're not commenting officially, but they did have video of the shooting from multiple police body camera videos, and they did show those videos to reporters. So I did a story about what that and what the city is saying. Now today, I am in Ma'Khia Bryant's neighborhood trying to get a more personalized view or take on her and her life. I'm going to bring you along for that process, so come along with me and stay tuned.
Ma'Khia Bryant. They sat for 16 minutes in silence, symbolizing Bryant's age and signifying her life that was cut too short. Friends and family spoke about how amazing she was and described her as funny. Now, after the vigil, hundreds of protesters gathered in front of the police department in downtown Columbus to demonstrate against the fatal officer-involved shooting of Bryant, chanting her name and calling for the defunding of the city's police department. Protesters telling me Officer Nicholas Reardon should have
I came back to my apartment very briefly so that I can upload some of the sound bites that I have from doing interviews out in Ma'Khia Bryant's neighborhood. I've spoken with two different neighbors so far. They both have kind of different perspectives. I'll play some clips from some of their interviews just so you can hear from them. First, I talked to Chris Mitchell. He lives a few houses down from where Ma'Khia Bryant was killed. He was saying that Ma'Khia Bryant's death just really made him question whether the community at large is doing all that they can to help young kids, particularly teenagers.
There were adults out here as well. We as a community, we have to do better as well. We have to do better as well. That officer was absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. But us as a community, we have to value our lives and value our children's lives as well.
After chatting with him, I spoke with his next door neighbor, Jerry Slocum. She actually heard the gunshots. She was in her home at the time, and she ran outside after she heard them, and she saw Ma'Khia Bryant's body lying on the ground.
From 2:30 to about 6, these teenagers are walking around. They don't have nothing to do, So kids really are not getting the supervision they need and guidance. They're just not. And the mayor, I know he's trying, but need to try a little harder.
I'm set up to speak with another neighbor in about half an hour. I live about 10 minutes away from the scene of the shooting, so I'm just uploading, like I said, some of these interviews that I already have so I can start organizing and writing the story that I'm doing. So I'm doing a story that's going to air tomorrow morning. Oof, I think my battery is going. That's not great at all. It says there's 3 hours remaining. Okay, whatever. Let's make a new folder. This will be called Ma'Khia Bryant Follow-Up. Sometimes doing stories like this are like putting together a puzzle, looking for the missing pieces. So, unfortunately, I won't be able to get everything, but there are certain pieces that I can look for, and I only have a certain time frame in which to look for these pieces. So I know that Ma'Khia Bryant was active on TikTok, so I'm able to download some things that she posted on TikTok. She did a lot of hair tutorials and just kind of dancing videos, so using that can help kind of demonstrate some of her character and just what she liked to do for fun. I spoke to some of her neighbors. I am contacting Franklin County Children's Services. I'm contacting the high school that she used to go to, just a number of places and people who knew her and were involved with her. And then I'll eventually take together the different elements that I have and say, hey, I don't know everything about Ma'Khia Bryant, but here's what I do know. Put it out there for the public to be able to digest if they so choose. I accidentally wore my blue light glasses out of the house, but now I'm back in my car and gonna make that little trek across the neighborhood, and I'll keep you posted, try to let you know of anything that, the goal of this video is to show you the journalistic process. That's really the goal of this video, and I hope I do so clearly. Please, if you are left with any questions, if you see any ways I can do better, let me know, because this channel is for you. A major part of reporting, by the way, is just keeping your eyes and ears open for anything that looks unusual and having enough curiosity to follow up. So I just drove by a group of like 8 people. I'm looking at them through my rearview mirror, who are standing outside on someone's driveway. They all seem to have like name tags around their necks, and I'm like, doesn't look like a typical group of people just casually chilling in their neighborhood on a random afternoon. So I'm gonna go see what's up. This is what that group of people were doing. They were handing out pamphlets. I think they work at Nationwide Children's Hospital. They're giving these to neighbors. People are so nice. It just started raining or snowing out here. Like, of course it would snow in late April. And a woman came up to my car and just like put a hat on my car. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, it's cold outside. You're gonna lose heat from your head, so you need to wear this hat. So thank you, stranger. All right, it's sort of getting to that crunch time where I really need to start putting together the sound that I do have and piecing together the story that's going to air tomorrow morning. So, going to the office now. Woo! Can't wait to experience some heat. Actually, our office is so cold. Welcome to my office. My cubicle in the office. Anyway, I am starting to listen to the sound of the neighbors that I interviewed and pulling out which sound bites might be the most compelling for the story, putting all that together. I just wrote my first draft of the story, and I'm asking my editors which one is free to take a look at it. I spoke to different neighbors. They all had different perspectives on what happened on Tuesday when Ma'Khia Bryant was killed, and I just tried to share their perspectives in a coherent manner and paint a picture of what's going on in the neighborhood where she died. Once I get that back, I will be able to piece the story together. Welcome to the studio. This is a soundproofed room where I'm going to record the audio for my story. So a little sound reporting 101 lesson for you. There are 3 types of sound that are going to be included in the story: tracks, acts, and nats. Tracks are my voice, which is why I'm in this room. I'm going to record those. Acts are actualities. Those are pieces of sound from people out in the field. So these different neighbors who I was chatting with all throughout the day. And then nats, which is sounds of the environment, natural sound. Testing the audio. Levels are looking good. We want unobstructed sound here. All right. 3, 2, 1. Tuesday afternoon, a Columbus police officer shot and killed Ma'Khia Bryant, a 16-year-old Black teenager. The incident made national news as it came just after the guilty verdict in Derek Chauvin's murder trial. Bryant's neighbors are grappling with the aftermath of her death amid the intense scrutiny. Now it's 6 o'clock, and I think I'm just going to finish this at home. I'm really tired. I'm really hungry. I need to eat, so I'm going to grab a bite, and then I will show you how I piece this thing together. Welcome to part 2 of the evening. I am satiated, just ate some food, changed into something more comfortable. I'm wearing sweatpants, and now I'm just gonna hunch over my computer here and edit, so I will show you that process. I opened a multi-track session, so you see there's literally different tracks. I'm going to use one for nats, one for acts, one for tracks. I think that's one I didn't say yet. So I'm just gonna start importing my audio, and I have my script on my phone. So I'll be pulling that up on my phone and using that as reference for the time codes of what I need to enter into this larger file. I hope that makes sense. Here's a look at the rough edit. So we have those 3 different elements that I've been telling you about. I'm going to listen through, make sure that everything sounds good, make slight tweaks just so that the audio sounds smooth and that it's easier on the ears for those who are listening during their morning commute to work tomorrow. And by the way, nowadays with journalism, at least in a newsroom that is the size of mine, you're really doing everything. If you're a radio journalist, you're making video like I am right now. You're taking photos, you're writing a web article. When I was in television, same deal. If you're a print journalist, you're dabbling in podcasts. Like, everything is crossing over into everything else just because everyone consumes information lifetime these days, and that's how you connect with your audience. So after this, I am going to write a web article, and in that web article, I will put in some photos that I took in Ma'Khia Bryant's neighborhood earlier today. And I'll kind of come back and check in once that process is over. Here's the web article. Where's my mouse? There we go. That was my reporting process from start to finish, me doing a feature-length story on Ma'Khia Bryant's death and how her neighbors are grappling with the aftermath. I hope this was fruitful. Please leave me any critiques that you think I need to hear. Take care.